Hello everyone, and welcome to Earth Archives. Today, we're going to talk about a super cool figure, not Copernicus, not Newton, but someone without whom these two might never have even stepped onto the stage, Tycho Brahe. Have you ever heard of this name?
When it comes to giants in the history of science, many might not have heard of him, but he is undoubtedly a legendary figure in astronomy. He didn't rely on modern high-tech telescopes. Instead, he used the most primitive tool, the naked eye, to observe the night sky, yet his measurements were astonishingly precise. His passion and dedication to the stars made him an astronomical fanatic, leaving behind countless precious and accurate observational records. These data hold immense significance in the history of science. Without his efforts and meticulous records, the famous 3 laws of planetary motion by Kepler would never have been derived. In fact, he laid the very foundation for Kepler's success. Kepler's laws, in turn, became the crucial basis for Newton's theory of universal gravitation. Thus, his contributions are not just personal achievements, but have profoundly influenced the development of both astronomy and physics. At that time, the technology for observing celestial bodies was far inferior to what we have today. Telescopes weren't widely used yet, and conditions were extremely limited. But through persistence and careful observation, he repeatedly recorded the positions and motions of stars, transforming complex celestial phenomena into precise data. This spirit of measuring the universe with the naked eye enabled later scientists to find order within chaos and unveil the mysteries of the cosmos. Though his life may not be as widely known as Kepler's or Newton's, he is an unsung hero in the history of science. It was because of his day after day, year after year diligent observations that humanity's understanding of the stars took a giant leap forward. Every time we gaze at the night sky, we should be grateful to this dedicated astronomical enthusiast who painted the beautiful trajectories of the universe with his own eyes, opening new horizons for science.
Wow, sounds like he's a real, behind-the-scenes hero. So, let's spill some tea first. What's his background? Is he different from the typical wandering scientist stereotype?
Completely different. Tycho Brahe was actually born into Danish nobility in 1546, coming from a wealthy and influential family. In the society of his time, someone of his noble birth would have been expected to pursue a career as a lawyer, politician, or court official, climbing the ranks within the royal and aristocratic circles to enjoy power and prestige. But Tycho chose a completely different path. His passion for the stars far outweighed any desire for power. This choice was extraordinary for the era. To give up a bright political future and dedicate himself to astronomical observation showed remarkable determination and devotion. Using the most advanced instruments of his time and incredibly precise methods, mostly through naked eye observations, he recorded vast amounts of highly accurate celestial data, which was unprecedented and invaluable back then. His observations laid a solid foundation for the later scientific revolution, especially playing an irreplaceable role in enabling Kepler to derive his 3 laws of planetary motion. Without Tycho's meticulous data, Kepler couldn't have precisely calculated planetary orbits, and Newton's theory of universal gravitation would have been much harder to formulate. In other words, Tycho's work is not only a milestone in the history of astronomy, but also one of the cornerstones of the entire modern scientific system.
So he was basically the noble version of a sky gazer, always looking up at the stars every day.
Exactly. Tycho Brahe wasn't actually raised by his parents from a young age. Instead, he was adopted by his wealthy uncle. This uncle wasn't just any ordinary person. He was financially powerful and had great confidence in Tycho's future. More importantly, he was willing to fully invest in Tycho's education without forcing him to follow the traditional aristocratic path of politics or court service. Instead, he gave Tycho the freedom to explore his own interests. Because of this strong support, Tycho was able to focus on his true passion, the stars and science, which was extremely rare in noble families at the time. Most noble children were expected to inherit family duties, enter politics, or join the military, following socially prescribed paths. But Tycho broke free from these constraints and courageously pursued his dreams. This rare freedom was crucial to his scientific achievements. In this environment, Tycho received the most advanced education of his time and devoted himself fully to astronomy. With his uncle's resources, he built the most precise astronomical instruments available, and even before the invention of the telescope, used his naked eye to measure celestial phenomena with extraordinary accuracy. These data became the foundation for Kepler's laws and paved the way for Newton's theory of universal gravitation.
I see, but how did he suddenly become so obsessed with astronomy? What sparked his passion?
Here's the turning point. In 1560, when Tycho Brahe was just 13 years old, he witnessed a breathtaking solar eclipse. At that moment, he saw the sun suddenly obscured by the moon, and the sky darkened dramatically. This rare astronomical event deeply shocked him. What surprised him even more was that the astronomical calendars of the time could predict the exact timing of the eclipse, a miracle nearly unimaginable given the 16th century level of science. For young Tycho, this moment was like opening the door to a whole new world. A surge of intense curiosity and wonder arose within him. Wow, humans can actually calculate when the sun will be blocked by the moon. This amazement ignited his boundless passion for astronomy and changed the course of his life forever. Witnessing the eclipse firsthand not only revealed the mysterious power of nature, but also made him realize how powerful and fascinating science could be. That event became the starting point of his quest for astronomical truth, driving him to dedicate more time and energy to observing the stars and unraveling the secrets of the universe.
Wow, so the solar eclipse was his moment of revelation. Is that when he decided to pursue astronomy as his path?
Exactly. Although Tycho Brahe was officially enrolled in law studies at the University of Copenhagen, his mind was far from legal textbooks. He was completely immersed in the vast night sky. He had a deep passion for astronomy and even taught himself in secret, spending countless hours studying the most advanced astronomical almanacs of the time, striving to understand the laws governing the universe. Even more impressive, he often took primitive observational instruments at night, gazing at the stars alone, carefully tracking their positions and movements. This dedication and enthusiasm far surpassed that of his peers, revealing his extraordinary talent in astronomy at an early age. At just 16, he successfully observed a rare astronomical event, the Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, and created an incredibly precise positional map. This was a remarkable achievement for the era. This accurate celestial chart not only demonstrated his observational skills, but also quickly gained him recognition in academic circles. For a young man of just 16, to produce such detailed and accurate astronomical records impressed many professional scholars. This successful observation became a crucial starting point for his scientific career and laid a solid foundation for his future research.
Wow, becoming famous at 16. Sounds a bit like a modern-day science influencer.
You could say that. Tycho Brahe's life was driven by a series of extraordinary celestial events. These breathtaking phenomena didn't just ignite his passion for the universe. They profoundly changed the course of his life. One of the most iconic examples was the new star event in 1572 that shocked the astronomical world. That year, Tycho discovered a suddenly appearing new star in the constellation Cassiopeia. This nova was so bright that it could be seen clearly with the naked eye, even outshining Venus, the brightest planet at the time. Such an unexpected appearance completely upended the then prevailing belief that the heavens were unchanging, stunning all scholars. The emergence of this new star deeply impressed upon Tycho the mysterious and ever-changing nature of the cosmos. It fueled his curiosity and drive for exploration even more. He meticulously recorded the stars' position and brightness changes, performing highly precise observations and analyses. These data later became crucial foundations for astronomical research. This extraordinary celestial event cemented Tycho's place in the history of science. His observations proved that celestial bodies are not eternal and immutable, but can indeed change, directly challenging Aristotle's long-held theory of the unchanging heavens and sparking a revolutionary transformation in astronomy.
Wait a minute. A new star. But didn't the ancients believe the heavens were perfect and unchanging? How could a new star suddenly appear out of nowhere?
Exactly. This discovery sent shockwaves through the entire European scientific community. For centuries, Aristotle's celestial theory was regarded as gospel in Europe, asserting that the heavens were perfect and unchanging. Stars neither appeared nor disappeared, nor did their brightness vary. But Tycho Brahe's incredibly precise naked-eye observations shattered this deeply entrenched belief. In 1572, he spotted a suddenly appearing new star in Cassiopeia, visible to the naked eye and even brighter than Venus. This astonished everyone. Tycho meticulously recorded the star's brightness and positional changes, proving through rigorous observation that this star was not one of the immutable fixed stars as previously thought, but a genuine celestial change, something never before scientifically documented. This groundbreaking finding completely overturned Europe's thousand-year-old traditional cosmology and shook the foundation of the Aristotelian system. Scholars and religious authorities at the time struggled to accept this reality, as it challenged the long-standing world order and philosophical ideas they had built.
So this must have made him an instant celebrity, right?
News of him spread across Europe. A Danish nobleman who could observe the stars with the naked eye with astonishing precision. That was Tycho Brahe, a genius in astronomy whose unmatched observational skills and passion sparked a sensation in academic circles, making him one of the hottest figures of his time. Even King Frederick II of Denmark was deeply impressed by Tycho's talent and made an unprecedented gift, an island called Hven. This beautiful island became the playground for Tycho's scientific dreams. With the king's strong support, he built Uraniborg, the most advanced observatory of its day, equipped with precise instruments for continuous and accurate celestial observations. With this dedicated research base, Tycho devoted himself wholeheartedly to astronomy, recording every detail of planetary movements day and night. The data he collected was far more precise than anyone else's at the time, laying a solid foundation for future astronomical advancements. These observations not only made Kepler's derivation of the three laws of planetary motion possible, but also provided crucial evidence for Newton's law of universal gravitation.
Wow, he was literally gifted an entire island? That's way cooler than hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Ha ha ha! Tycho Brahe built an unprecedented research fortress on the island of Hven called Uraniborg. It wasn't just an observatory, it was a scientific paradise. Imagine a place that combined astronomical observation, academic research, and living quarters all in one, a groundbreaking concept in the 16th century. Uraniborg housed the most advanced astronomical instruments of the time, allowing Tycho to measure the positions and movements of stars with incredible precision. It also had a vast library filled with the latest scientific works, a treasure trove of knowledge where Tycho and his team could study, debate, and spark new ideas. Beyond that, there were laboratories for conducting experiments across various natural sciences, exploring the mysteries of the universe and nature. This scientific fortress was more than just an observatory. It was a cradle of scientific research that perfectly blended theory and practice. And of course, there were comfortable living quarters for Tycho and his team, providing an ideal environment for full-time dedication to their studies, free from outside distractions. Tycho turned Uraniborg into a Disneyland for scientists, a dream place where people loved to stay and focus on unlocking the secrets of the cosmos.
I can totally picture it. Waking up every morning to watch the stars, then continuing to gaze at them all night. He was basically a total space nerd, right?
Absolutely right. Tycho Brahe's observational precision was truly astonishing and hard to believe. Without modern telescopes or advanced technology, he combined his naked eye observations with giant astronomical instruments he designed and built himself, managing to keep errors under 1 arcminute, 1/60th of a degree. Do you know what that means? It's like standing a kilometer away and being able to pinpoint the exact position of a single strand of hair, an unimaginable level of detail. In the 16th century, when other scientists relied on blurry and rough data to guess star positions, Tycho created unprecedentedly accurate records using just his eyes. He constructed huge and complex instruments like quadrants and sextants. These devices were massive yet incredibly precise, making them the most advanced astronomical tools of his time. This unparalleled accuracy made Tycho's data the foundation for the later scientific revolution. Without his precise observations, Kepler couldn't have formulated his 3 laws of planetary motion, nor could Newton's theory of universal gravitation have been validated. Tycho, with his naked eye and giant instruments, revealed the true workings of the cosmos to humanity.
Oh my gosh, this is like a naked eye microscope. No wonder Kepler was able to discover the 3 laws of planetary motion later on, relying on Tycho's data.
Tycho Brahe was truly a data fanatic. He meticulously observed Mars for 20 years, day after day, year after year, carefully recording every position and movement, capturing the details of Mars' orbit with incredible clarity. Such dedication and focus were unprecedented in the scientific community at that time. Tycho's observational data was astonishingly precise. These records were not only treasures for astronomy, but also the key to unlocking the mysteries of how the universe works. Thanks to his rigorous documentation over 2 decades, Johannes Kepler was able to inherit these precious data and embark on an in-depth study of planetary motion. Using Tycho's observations, Kepler finally solved the mystery of planets orbiting the Sun in elliptical paths and formulated his famous 3 laws of planetary motion, which completely transformed humanity's understanding of the cosmos. Without Tycho's patient and relentless data collection, it's hard to imagine Kepler achieving such groundbreaking accuracy.
So, you're saying that without Tycho, Kepler might not have been able to figure it out, and Newton wouldn't have been able to prove it?
You could say that. The collaboration between Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler is a legendary perfect match in the history of science. Tycho was the master observer, patiently and meticulously collecting astronomical data for 20 years, especially achieving astonishing precision in his observations of Mars. Without his detailed and accurate data, the later scientific breakthroughs wouldn't have been possible. Kepler, on the other hand, was the mathematician. He excelled at unraveling complex data, using mathematical models to decode the laws governing the universe. After inheriting Tycho's precious data, Kepler devoted himself to analyzing planetary orbits, ultimately deriving the elliptical orbits of planets around the Sun and formulating the famous 3 laws of planetary motion. Though their expertise seemed different, they complemented each other perfectly. Tycho provided the solid observational foundation, while Kepler transformed these data into theory with his mathematical genius. Their collaboration accelerated the scientific revolution, breaking away from intuition and philosophical speculation, and pushing astronomy from mere questioning to quantitative analysis, truly ushering in modern science.
So how does he himself view the universe? Does he support Copernican theory or geocentrism?
That's the interesting part. Tycho Brahe didn't fully accept the popular geocentric model of his time, nor did he completely side with the heliocentric theory. Instead, he created a unique compromise model, later called the Tychonic system. This model caused quite a stir in the astronomical community back then and showcased Tycho's pragmatic and truth-seeking scientific attitude. According to the Tychonic system, the Earth is considered the center of the universe and remains fixed, while the Sun revolves around the Earth. However, other planets, like Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, orbit around the Sun. This design preserved the traditional geocentric idea of Earth at the center, while cleverly solving the problem that the classic geocentric model couldn't adequately explain planetary motions. The greatest advantage of the Tychonic system is that it combines the strengths of both theories, the central position of Earth from the geocentric model and the explanatory power of the heliocentric model for planetary orbits. This allowed Tycho to describe the positions and movements of planets more accurately, aligning well with his years of precise observational data.
Wow, it sounds like a middle ground solution where everyone gets a way to save face, right?
Exactly. Tycho Brahe's compromise model cleverly blended the ideas of the two major camps. At that time, the religious authorities strongly upheld the geocentric view because it aligned with the classical worldview and theological doctrines, which held that Earth was the center of the universe, the focal point of all creation. Tycho was well aware of this, so in his model he maintained that the Earth was fixed and remained the core of the entire cosmos, perfectly matching the expectations of the religious establishment. At the same time, Tycho couldn't ignore the more straightforward and scientifically sound explanations of planetary motion presented by Copernicus's heliocentric theory. So he boldly placed the Sun orbiting the Earth, but let the other planets orbit the Sun. This design preserved the Earth's central position from the geocentric model, while cleverly incorporating the core principles of the heliocentric theory. Although it was later proven that Tycho's model was not how the universe actually worked, since the Sun is the true center and planets move in elliptical orbits around it, his system had a huge influence from the late 16th to early 17th centuries. It served as an important transitional theory, helping both the scientific and religious communities find a relatively conciliatory consensus amid intense ideological clashes, thereby promoting the gradual advancement of astronomy.
So in the end, he still ran into trouble, right?
Yes, Tycho Brahe's life was full of drama. After King Frederick II of Denmark died in 1596, the new king was far less supportive of Tycho, causing the great astronomer to lose his valuable backing. Without the king's support, Tycho was forced to leave his beloved island of Hven, the place where he had poured his heart into building his research castle, Uraniborg, and began a life of exile. This period of exile was difficult, but Tycho never gave up his passion and pursuit of science. Eventually, he arrived in Prague, the capital of the Kingdom of Bohemia, which was ruled by Emperor Rudolf II of the Holy Roman Empire. Rudolf II had a great enthusiasm for art and science, especially astronomy, making Prague a major center of European science and culture at the time. In Prague, Tycho gained the emperor's favor and support, allowing him to continue his astronomical observations and research. More importantly, he met the young Johannes Kepler there. Kepler was working as Tycho's assistant, responsible for analyzing and organizing the vast and precise astronomical data Tycho had collected. This teacher-student relationship had a profound impact on the history of astronomy. Tycho provided the accurate observations, while Kepler used his mathematical genius to interpret the data, ultimately revealing the true laws of planetary motion. Without this exile and their meeting in Prague, the progress of the scientific revolution might have been greatly delayed.
Wow, history's ultimate dream team.
Exactly. The collaboration between Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler is one of the most perfect golden partnerships in the history of science. Tycho was responsible for producing those incredibly precise observational data, while Kepler interpreted this vast and detailed information using mathematical theory. One grounded in empirical evidence, the other in reasoning. Together, they complemented each other and made a major leap in humanity's understanding of the universe. Tycho's observational accuracy far surpassed anyone else at the time. Using just his eyes and massive instruments, he managed to keep the error margin for planetary positions within an astonishing 1 arcminute. The data were so meticulous it's hard to believe, providing the strongest foundation for later astronomical theories. Without these rigorously measured observations, Kepler would never have been able to derive his world-changing 3 laws of planetary motion. Kepler was a genius mathematician and theorist. From Tycho's data, he discovered that planets actually orbit the Sun in elliptical paths, shattering the old astronomical notion that orbits were perfect circles. Through rigorous mathematical deductions, he explained the rules governing planetary motion, perfectly blending observation with theory, and laying the crucial groundwork for Newton's later law of universal gravitation. This dual advance of empiricism plus theory embodies the core spirit of the scientific revolution. The partnership between Tycho and Kepler not only proved that scientific research must be based on precise data and rigorous theory, but also demonstrated the power of scientists depending on and advancing alongside each other.
It really is true that, without Tycho, there would be no Kepler.
Absolutely spot on. Although many people might not be very familiar with the name Tycho Brahe, he was an indispensable key figure in the scientific revolution. Without him, those great theories that changed human history might never have come to be. Tycho, with his incredible patience and dedication, spent over 20 years observing the stars with his naked eyes and homemade precise instruments, producing astronomical data unmatched at the time. These nearly perfect and precise data provided a solid foundation for later scientists, especially Kepler. It was thanks to the observational treasure Tycho left behind that Kepler was able to derive the 3 laws of planetary motion, completely overturning humanity's understanding of the universe that had lasted for thousands of years and driving the wave of the scientific revolution. In fact, Tycho's work laid the groundwork for the scientific revolution. Without this solid foundation, no matter how beautiful the theories, they would just be castles in the air.
After hearing all that, I feel like he was basically a 16th century, obsessive observer and eccentric noble, but also a true shining star of science.
Tycho Brahe proved with his life that even in an age without telescopes, as long as one has steadfast perseverance and boundless creativity, humanity can gradually unveil the mysteries of the universe and inscribe the secrets of the stars into the river of knowledge. The scientific tools of his time were far less advanced than today's, with observations relying mostly on the naked eye and meticulously handcrafted instruments. Yet Tycho, driven by his passion and dedication to astronomy, successfully overcame these limitations. He built massive observational instruments with precision that's almost unbelievable. Even without the aid of telescopes, he measured planetary positions with incredible accuracy, errors of less than 1 arcminute. This level of precision was unprecedented at the time and provided the strongest data foundation for Kepler's theories of planetary motion. Tycho was not only a pioneer in observation, but also a key figure who pushed astronomy forward through innovative thinking. From his story, we learn that no matter how much technology advances, perseverance and creativity will always be the keys to unlocking the doors of knowledge. Tycho's achievements continue to inspire future generations, even when faced with limited resources and great challenges. As long as you persist, you will eventually find your own light shining in the vast cosmos.
Alright, that's it for today. If you think Tycho Brahe is as cool as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave us a comment telling us what you admire most about him.
We'll bring you another story next time. Stay tuned.